the absence of a cooperative owner, I have a statutory requirement to secure that building and to make sure that we prevent any other arsons from occurring in that building, and that's what we did. So if you have any questions, I'd be more than happy to talk to you about it. If you want to stop my office, you're more than welcome to do that too, anytime. So.
Well, that answers my questions. But I do have a comment. And this is for down the road. If the Douglas Hotel were to catch on fire.
Please don't say that.
I'm asking because these people need to know.
I understand.
If that Douglas Hotel catches on fire, you'll behave similarly with the Douglas Hotel.
We will.
You're going to let it burn until it goes out and protect the property around it.
We will try to protect everything we can.
And are there other buildings in Urbana that have that same?
Basically, one other main one would be the Souls Hotel.
So there you go.
There's nobody in there.
You got two buildings out there, one of which could damage, two of which could damage a lot of personal property that are just sitting there, and we're not putting any pressure on those people to fix those buildings up. So I challenge you, because this is I have one more meeting. I challenge you as a council to get after Mr. Doss and get after the people that own the Souls to get those buildings to a point where these guys can go in there and take care of it if it catches on fire. Thank you, Mark.
Thanks, Mark.
Just to point out one more thing. If anybody has questions about the operation that we did, and I'm not talking about, I don't want a bunch of phone calls, but if you want to go through your council person or whatever, I'm more than happy to address those issues. But
you had a plan,
right,
well before that thing caught on fire, about how you were going to address it.
We did,
and you did it, and no one got hurt.
right,
and we're all standing today.
exactly.
But we may not get that lucky on the next.
Right.
So it's our jobs to make sure, if we're responsible for that building, then we should be responsible for getting these people that own these buildings to bring them up to code so that you can go in there and do your job. And if that hurts economic development, then so be it. That thing's been sitting over there for 12 years, empty. And no one is trying to make that anything with it. There you go. Thank you.
Thanks, Chief. Fields, unfinished business.
I had a couple people want to know when they're going to put the tree up in the lobby for Christmas. Oh.
I can't speak to that, but I can find out.
Okay. And could you let the newspaper know about it? And where are we at on the lead pickup?
The leaves were planning, they were supposed to be finished yesterday. With the weather yesterday and today, we're going to probably keep picking away, but within the next couple of days, they'll be finished. I mean, we're down to a few piles.
And the compost?
And the compost was scheduled again to be done at the end of the month. We're going to extend that on kind of a day-by-day basis through the rest of this week, and it'll be closed by at the end of the week.
Thank you. That's all the questions I have. Mr. Hall.
No, I appreciate what you guys did here at the fire department. I mean, I'm just glad you had a nice plan in place. Nobody got hurt. You guys were prepared. You knew it was going to happen. It's just more important. Another reason why we got to get that thing secured as far as, with the city and get a business in that place. So that's all I have.
Speedy.
Yeah, I got a phone call today. I didn't know if it was a serious phone call or jokingly, but they said, "Have you drove by the man on the monument?" I said, "No." He said, "Well, there's a Christmas tree on his back with lights." I said, "Well, I've drove by it 3 times. I didn't notice it, but went by. Sure enough, there is. Was that a prank or is that something they did?" That's what
Well,
I had no idea. idea why that's there, but I sure will ask.
I noticed it over the weekend myself, and the Monument Square District has been taking care of the downtown and the monument for the last couple of years. My first impression when I saw it, I didn't see it, I didn't know it had lights on it, but when I first saw it, I pictured a soldier heading home with a Christmas tree on his back for the family, is what I had in my mind. It didn't strike me as being odd, but I can't speak to what strikes other people. So,
Yeah, that's what they said. They didn't know if that was perfectly put there.
Right.
Somebody pranked it, put it up.
I don't,
They
you know,
would take the time to prank that, but I didn't notice until they said
I
something, so.
don't believe it was Frank. I think the intention was honoring a soldier heading home, meet with the family Christmas.
Thank you.
Subside that. Yeah.
I don't know anyway.
Moving down the road.
Yet.
Yep. Okay. Chief, anything else?
I do have one more thing, just, some of you may remember, I think it was back February or March, we put carbon monoxide detectors on our first in bags for when we go on EMS calls. We did have a success story just the other day. An unresponsive person in a garage, and as soon as they opened the door, the alarms went off, and they were able to quickly identify that there was a problem in there and was able to get the gentleman out. So I just wanted to pass on that we did have I think, a pretty good success story occur.
Right, that's good.
Thanks.
Bree, anything from all departments?
No, but I will say, if you're going to be out celebrating the holiday season, please don't drink and drive, or I will see you in court.
Mayor, report on the parade. You have to come up here to the microphone since you came in a little late.
Well, the Macaulay Parade went off without a hitch, and this is the first time they had llamas going through Macaulay Center. So it was well attended. Our past councilman, Mr. Buckeye Man, Larry Loci, was there in all his glory, and he also brought Brutus with him. So Ohio State was well represented, but it was very well attended. Everybody seemed to be having fun. Johnny Camazzi was the marshal, although they wanted me there too. But old John, he did a good job as being marshal of the parade. So everybody had a good time. I think the patients there certainly enjoyed it. A lot of Merry Christmases and a lot of I won't say cheer, but cheery people. So it was well done. So I want to thank Tanya West and her crew out there for putting this on once a year. It's really a nice event, and my hat goes off to them. So I want to thank them. That's it.
Okay. Kerry.
I've got a handful of items here. Before we leave Q3, just again, I would like to congratulate, if you will, or shout out to fire department, the police department, and the public works groups that all pulled together. There wasn't any of this, it's not my job, it's somebody else's job. Everybody pulled together. Anytime we asked anything to happen, they were willing to get in there and do it. It wasn't about whether or not they should do it. It was just the right thing to do to get the place secured, so I appreciate that. Also, I spent some time down there Sunday morning when the fire was well under control at that point, but was able to spend time with Mark and Jeff and some of the other firefighters, kind of getting close to the action to see some of the things firsthand, and going up in the aerial to see the bird's eye view of that gives you a completely different vision than what you think you see on the ground. So again, a lot of good effort by a lot of people pulling that thing together. The comment Mark just talked about on this carbon monoxide alarm, I think we talked about this last year at council, and that was one that we talked about, I went to a meeting in Troy last year, and it was shortly after they had an incident over there where several members of a family were killed from carbon monoxide, and when I talked to Mark about it, he was not hesitant. He said, let's see what we can do to get these things done, because what I heard from the safety director in Troy was, if our guys had walked in with those monitors, they'd have known what they were dealing with when they walked in the door, but they didn't have it. And hearing that story was just something that we talked about as soon as we came back, and Mark was quick to put those in action. And again, this is one of those times where if you're not having that, people could have put themselves at risk. You might have had a whole different story than what we ended up with. So good, that was a good use for that, and I appreciate that update. Next meeting, we'll have the reappropriation. Chris will have everything ready to go for the reappropriations for the year so we can close out the books. I was hoping to have a walk-in tonight for the Miami Valley lighting. I was expecting to get an email today with the contract. Didn't get it, so I'm anticipating having that Miami Valley lighting contract coming in next meeting. We talked a little bit about the last meeting. The last thing I want to talk about was just an update. I know you probably all read the paper and give an update on the Planning Commission. Last Monday, we had a work session the Monday before talking about the preliminary site plan for the school district building, the construction site. And on Monday, last Monday, the Planning Commission met, and the technical review committee, the staff comments, had attached 18 items that needed to be addressed in the final draft, the final site plan. And there was another item that was added at the meeting, which was to construct Washington Avenue, extend Washington Avenue and connect it to Community Drive. There's a lot of work to be done around that. I know we're going to continue to have dialogue, but I think so far, the general understanding that people that we've had conversations with understand why we're asking for Washington Avenue versus only that one section of Boyd Street. It's the looking for the future, looking for the long-range plan, and looking for, the next 50 years and not just for the next few years. We need to put this thing together. We need to build this. And we've had a lot of conversation over the last month around this issue. And, we have to take the position that, our obligation to the city is for land use. It's for following the engineering standards and our guidelines that we've established to make sure we don't end up with something that is not sufficient long-term. We could probably all think back, how far we want to think back, of places or items where something was shortcutted, if you will, not to use that as a negative, but for whatever reason, at some point in time, decisions were made not to do something, and we wish we'd have done it. And once you get past that point, good intentions are always to go back and, we'll go back and fix it. And unfortunately, it happens at home. It happens a lot of times. I'm going to go back and fix that. Then all of a sudden, the faucet breaks. You should have fixed it last weekend. And, I think we're going to put this thing together. I know there's going to be a lot of good discussion. There's been a lot of good discussion in the last 4 or 5 months, working through the details and the site-specific items with the technical review group. All the different utilities and division heads have had a lot of solid input. So this is, there's nobody here that doesn't want this school to be built. We just want to build it for our kids and the grandkids and their grandkids. So it's going to be around a while. We just need to do it right. So, and I believe, I guess, piggyback off of that, and this will tie back into Dwight's comment about spending and focusing some time and discussion around funding for operational, trying to look at our operations and the areas that we need to beef up. In particular, he brought up the police department, trying to get another, staff or 2 members, in there. The coupled with that is part of the planning commission, symbolizes, okay, questions have come up is why haven't we built that road if it was said they were going to do it, should have done it in 74, why didn't they do it in 74? Why didn't they do it in 84? Why didn't they do it in 94? Why didn't we do it in 2004? You know, there's a lot of things that have to come up. One of them, obviously, is money. First, the other thing is you have to have the opportunity, you have to have the need, you have to have the vision to go there. I don't think it would have been prudent years ago to build something that wasn't, you know, don't build it and think they're going to come. I think you look for the opportunity, where's the need, where's the opportunity, and how do we get there? Okay, now we have a need, now we have the opportunity, now we've got to figure out how we're going to help develop along that corridor. So I think coupled with it's a kind of a two-pronged thing. We've got to look at our operating budget, we've got to look at our capital budget, and we figure out, okay, where do we need, how do we bolster either one or both of those to do what we need to do for the future. So I would anticipate, I would hope we have in these meetings under miscellaneous business, at least for a while, we have some dialogue, and let's get things out, and let's talk about it. But more importantly, we'll need to have some focus groups and spend some work sessions after the first year and dig into it and find out, you know, what do we want as a group? What's the city need to move forward, and take it from there. And that's all I have.
Marcia, I forgot you were out there. Anything for us?
I have something I was hoping was going to executive session. It's economic development.
I didn't have a request for executive session tonight. Do we have
Well,
a
then I
request?
I didn't have a request for tonight.
Okay, not on our agenda this evening.
I can do an overview and that'll be fine.
Okay.
Thank you. I just wanted to quickly give you a snapshot of projects that I'm working on that would be affecting the city and the potential that is out here. Right now, we have 14 projects that have been on the plate with the new agency, with the economic agency. And of those 14 projects, 2 of them have been won, and I wanted to make sure people understood what that was. One, as you read in the paper, was Parker True Tech. They're moving forward with their expansion and their new build. That is an $8 million project investment on their behalf, and they're solely doing that on their own. And then the other one, I won't be able to give the name right now because they've asked me not to put it in the media yet, but they have come to our county. It's out in the county as well, and they will be making a public announcement soon, but we have won that one, and there's a potential of 40 jobs with that operation, so that's a real plus. The 12 that are pending, we have the ability to gain probably 200 to 300 employees. There's a couple that haven't really made the determination yet of the number of employees, but those pending projects have a total of investment of about $51 million in our community. So the first 2 that we have won, it's about a $10 million investment, and then the pending ones is about a $51 million investment. So I want to be able to give you that as a snapshot. And then also, I went back and looked at the data for just the manufacturers in our community and the whole county, not just in the city. And over the past 3 years, since we have seen the recession and then moving forward, over the past 3 years, our current manufacturers, no new manufacturers, our current ones have added over 900 jobs in those 3 years. So I think that's highly important, and we need to understand that. It's, you know, these projects of new companies that may be coming in or doing some expansions, the ones that we have, we need to make sure that we acknowledge them and appreciate what they've been able to do in our community. So over 900 jobs just in the manufacturing. So I want to make sure and get that information to the council and to the public as well. So a little bit of a report about what the agency is working on, and also I don't have her here to be able to introduce her, but Rachel Lewis is working with me now. So the phone shouldn't go unanswered between the 2 of us. One of us is usually there. And then we also, all of you should have received it by now, but just in case, we're having our grand opening on December 10th. between the hours of 2 and 6. So if you could come up anytime during those hours, we'll be able to show you our office area. You'll be able to meet Rachel, and we have our website up and running now. It's cepohio.com, and I'd appreciate any feedback that you would have for me. I know right now there's some things I want to change already, that we wanted to make sure and get it out there so people could start seeing it and know how to get in touch with the new agency and what we're doing there. So, and Dave Milner, I really have to give him a big shout out. He has given us all the pictures that are on the website other than one. He's done a phenomenal job. He's done it as an in-kind service to the agency. So, December 10th, 2 to 6 is our open house.
Thank you. Not missing any other council members. I've got a couple things. Is the LUC involved in this school thing?
I'm sorry?
The LUC involved in that? Can they give us?
We've had discussions with them whether they can help us on any of the development plans, that type of thing. I can't speak to the detail of where they're at with it.
Just curious if that's possible. Way back when, I'll thank Al for this one. The purpose of the law is one that I came up with, and it seems like that's the standard every one of our laws is brought up to, so I appreciate remembering that one.
That's what a lot of people use.
That's right, that's right. It's one of those laws that hopefully works. It was taught a long time ago not to put off. Do it when you can, and I think I'm going to do it tonight, just in case something does happen. Al and Virginia, I want to thank you for your years of service. I know your term's going to end at the end of December 31st. You're done, and I want to thank you guys for both all your service. Always involved, always asking questions, and it's made council exciting sometimes and never boring. I know you guys care about the city and have always been there helping your constituents. So I want to take this opportunity to thank you very much for all your years of service, and stay involved. Something. Other than that, I've got nothing. Amy, do you have anything for them? Okay. Mr. Fields, it's up to you.
I'd like to excuse absent member Pat.
Just have a party. Second. All those in favor of excusing our absent members signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Virginia?
No.
I'd like to also follow that up, make a motion that we adjourn.
Second. Meeting is adjourned. Coming tonight. Merry Christmas, and we'll see you again.
You don't want that, right?
Yeah. Thank you, Mark. I think it's probably down there. Upstairs, go in. That's a change. That's it. I actually was expecting worse. Yeah, I think maybe some of the guys shut it down. I heard him spout off the window.
I need your cell number, Karen.
508 7259.
I just realized I can text you using the phone while I'm sitting in court.
It was.